I can tell you they were purchased recently.
Anything more about possible motive here? We've also heard reports that
The question was and a relationship.
I got Dave's profile because they're taking this off the internet to get it on the air. So you won't have access to that audio cut right away once
There's
it's
some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down, and our investigators are going through that to try and develop from that. Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well,
buffering. Be ready in case you got to jump in.
Lindsay, it looks like our audio that we were listening live was Police Chief Brian O'Hara taking some questions. Not a ton of new information from a news conference with Governor Walz, but for the first time we did hear from the principal of Annunciation Catholic School saying we lost 2 angels today. No doubt we did. It's Jason DeRUSHA. We have total coverage on WCCO Radio of the shooting that happened at Annunciation Catholic School, a K-8 school on the southern edge of Minneapolis near Richfield. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old both killed by a shooter who is also dead. The shooter has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. So at this point, the shooter, where there also is a manifesto, and if you are active on social media, perhaps you have seen a video that was on a YouTube channel, and it is chilling. It is chilling. A 23-year-old who apparently, Robin Westman's mother worked as the secretary at Annunciation High School. And that was some of the questions, or Annunciation Catholic School, the K-8 school. That was one of the questions that Brian O'Hara was being asked out at the scene right now. We do know Minneapolis police are doing search warrants. In the video that was posted along with the manifesto, as the chief characterized it, the video did show a number of weapons, and on the scene, police say that Robin Westman used a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. And in the video, Westman said the pistol was to be used on themselves. Very chilling, heartbreaking for so many families because, man, we all can relate to that moment, right, where you send your kid off to school. And I went to a Jesuit Catholic university, Marquette University. And, man, you think of those moments where you're together as a community in mass, in church, and full of excitement. And you heard the principal over the last couple of minutes talking about older students shielding the younger students from a barrage of bullets coming from the outside of the school. And in this moment where understandably so many of us are seeking for political answers, for political action, for some understanding, there's been much talk about Robin Westman, who court records indicate was born as Robert Westman, but with their mother's assistance, filed to change the name from Robert to Robin, as Robin, according to the court document, was identifying as a woman. It is natural to try to get to a bigger picture, to try to get to a bigger understanding. But right now, I'm just thinking of kids, man. 8 and 10-year-old kids and their parents, and those images of parents walking hand in hand with their kids out of that school after we say the unthinkable, but it's not the unthinkable. It just is not. It hits harder when it hits here, when it hits home. Let's get you up to date with the latest from the WCCO newsroom, monitoring this live news conference that's going on and all the developments that our news team has been tracking. We bring it back to our studios in Minneapolis and Laura Oaks.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason. It's 3:07 on CCO. We have now learned that the FBI is investigating today's mass shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics. 2 children are dead, 7 others in critical condition this afternoon after a 23-year-old Minneapolis man opened fire on Annunciation Church at 54th and Lyndale. Happened around 8:30 this morning as dozens of kids were praying during a mass to celebrate the first week of school. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground.
The shooter, again, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, whose mother is a former parish secretary at Annunciation Church. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara telling us in this press conference that law enforcement have been combing 3 homes in the Twin Cities believed to be connected to Robin Westman. WCCO Susie Jones is in the neighborhood surrounding Annunciation and has been talking with family members and residents about the disturbing scene that unfolded nearly 7 hours ago now.
A terrifying scene inside Annunciation Church this morning. This 6th grader describing what it was like and what happened after.
I'm scared. Teachers let us out and into safe places.
Her mother telling us that she heard about the shooting via a text message and quickly became overcome by emotion.
You just don't think this is going to happen in your community.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Emotions are running high all across the Twin Cities.
There's no telling what was on that person's mind, why he did it. We don't even need to know why. Because we know it's a problem. It's not just here in Minnesota, it's everywhere. And don't want to blame the government, but the way that this world and this United States is now, you're making people do things that they would normally do.
We are following all of what is unfolding today, and we'll have the latest throughout the afternoon and evening as more information becomes available. We do know a community vigil is planned for 8 o'clock tonight at Lyndhurst Park on Minnehaha Avenue in South Minneapolis. WCCO News Time is 3:10.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Headed to the fairgrounds, you'll find pretty much all the parking lots are full. We do have a handful that are open if you're looking for spots. Minnesota Office Plaza, North Heights Lutheran Church, Roseville Covenant, and the U of M Minneapolis campus. Those spots and lots are open right now if you'd be traveling that way. If you're going to be on Snelling Avenue, it's jammed out on front of the fairgrounds. Como, just south of the fairgrounds, a bit slow. 394 eastbound, that's a slow ride, 100 into downtown Minneapolis. Prepare for a mesmerizing evening of music when Hailstorm, Lindsey Sterling, and special guest Apocalyptica bring the Never Rest Duality Tour to the Treasure Island Amphitheater. Hear electrifying hits like I Miss the Misery and Apocalypse from Hailstorm and Crystallize and Round Table Rival from Lindsey Sterling Friday, September 26th. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at Dickeys.com. And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Can't rule out a few isolated showers. Will be dry overnight as we cool back to 62. Partly cloudy and 75 tomorrow. A few more clouds with a similar high on Friday. We should be mainly dry through Labor Day weekend with highs running just slightly below average in the 70s.
Mostly sunny right now, 77 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
We'd like to think of it more as the Great Minnesota Talk Together. Make plans now to come see us at the fair. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSHA.
We are live at the State Fair today, and I got to be honest, I debated, should I come out here or should we do the show from the studio on a day filled with so much sadness? Shooting at a Catholic elementary school in Minneapolis today. Once again, Minneapolis is in the national spotlight for a tragedy, for a shooting. We had the political assassinations not that long ago of Melissa Hortman and Mark Hortman. The Hoffmans were shot. 2 other politicians had a madman at their door looking to kill. And here this morning, a mad man, woman, a mad person, Robin, who was born a man. We don't know anything more than Robert filed to change what was his name into her name, Robin. And right now, 2 families who sent their 8-year-old and 10-year-old off to school had their kids killed in the pew, sitting there at an all-school church, all-school mass. So why did I want to come out here? Because I think we need, in these moments, to be together. We need to be with people. We need to realize that there is more love than hate in the world. But we also need to realize that there is hate and there is extremism. And I bring up the other example of the other shooting, the Melissa Hortman assassination, as another example of people who have been radicalized and extremized to a point where they feel they're gone, where there is no other choice. For today, it was someone who felt that the end goal was taking Robin's life. That was the goal. But to premeditated attack a group of kids, such where this monster brought 2x4s to stick in the emergency exits to make sure that those kids couldn't escape. The chief used the word unthinkable, and it's not unthinkable. It just isn't. It's gutting. It is gutting that it continues to happen. And I ask you to weigh in at 651-461-9226. Do you have hope? Do you have ideas? What do we do? What do we make of this? We're all sort of processing it in real time. And I do think sometimes, we're in such a quick take society, and I'm a talk show host. I'm in the quick take business. Part of my job is to analyze things as they happen and try to make sense of it. We all do that in our own life. And I do give people some grace and forgiveness as they tend to wedge whatever happens into their pre-existing worldview. If you believe we need fewer guns out there, this is evidence of gun culture run amok. If you believe that gender confusion or gender reassignment is evidence of mental illness, well, here you go. You have Exhibit A. What I would encourage people to get better at, but specifically in this case, is to take a beat. We don't know. We don't know what happened here. What makes me sad as a parent and sad as a neighbor and sad as a Minnesotan is that why does this keep happening here? And I know there's not necessarily a logic to this where you can say that the assassination of Melissa and Mark Hortman and then these 2 kids shot in school, that there's a thread here. Maybe there is no thread here other than I'm sick of being in the national news for Minnesota, some sort of crazy stuff happening here. Horrible, hateful, awful stuff. You come out here to the State Fair and you see thousands of people filled with love, sharing cookies with strangers, sharing French fries with strangers. This is a place where people come together, where you can have the Republican booth and you can have the Democratic booth, and at least at our core, we all love the giant slide, and we love to go visit the animals, and we love this state. We just maybe have different views as to how we should get to a place we all want to be. I don't know how we do better to catch people who are going down the road of extremism and to stop them. But I do think that most of the solutions that people are talking about today, while maybe they are good policies, I think in the moments after this tragedy, none of us are thinking straight, are we? And you may have great ideas that would be better for society. But man, I don't know what stops somebody who's decided that it's a good idea to show up at a church and open fire in front of a bunch of kids. I want to play the soundbite of Weston. Man, if you have seen this or heard this today, I think this, at least it got me to pause from trying to make sense of it and what is the right gun policy and what is the right mental health policy and what is the right approach if your kid has gender confusion. Because then I heard this fifth grader, Weston, whose parents gave him permission to talk to the media. And you may look at that and think, who on earth would let their fifth grader who was in the church when this happened talk to reporters? I'll just say those parents, thank you, because what we're hearing from this fifth grader, I think, is important for everyone to hear. Let's listen to Weston.
It was like shots fired, and then we kind of like got under the pews. It kind of, they shot through the stained glass windows, I think, and it was really scary.
What did you do after that?
Well, we waited like 10 to 5 minutes. I don't really know. And then we went to the gym, and then the doors locked just to make sure he didn't come. And we waited in the gym for more news, and everyone was okay. Or most people were okay.
Who are your friend, Wes?
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay.
That is America. That is Minnesota. That is Minneapolis. It's a Catholic school, Catholic church. Kids who are literally sitting praying at the start of the school year. The hate in someone's heart, the feeling of loss, that their life is worth nothing. For me, that is hard to imagine. What happens to someone that they feel so lost that not only do they want to kill themselves, but they want to take a bunch of kids with them? I don't know, man. 651-461-9226. We're all processing. You're processing. Text coming in. We'll share some of that. If you're with us at the fair and you want to say something, come on up. We'll put you on. We'll take a break. We'll have complete coverage as we learn anything else. New details. The newsroom will break in. But we do know police are doing a couple of searches. The shooter is dead. 2 kids are dead. Man, and the newest detail here in 3 80-year-olds, which, gosh, as a Catholic, you're like, of course there were 3 80-year-olds at an 8:15 a.m. Mass when you had an opportunity to sit in Mass that grandma is going to be there. I mean, that is absolutely, anybody who's been to an early morning Catholic Mass, you know that's how it is. And they were shot as well. Praying for their recovery for sure, and praying for our community. Live on Drive Time with DeRUSHA.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, meet at Andy's.
Fair food, fair fun, and fair only savings. By the Yard's Minnesota State Fair sale is here. The sale everyone waits for. For 30 years, they've built premium maintenance-free outdoor furniture right here in Minnesota. It's still the best seat at the fair. Find them in the corner of the 4-H building on Cosgrove and get fair-only pricing now through September 2nd. Or stop by the showrooms, Woodbury, Maple Grove, or Jordan. With By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
All right, we thank Andy's Grill for their effort as they sponsor our work right here at the Minnesota State Fair. It's Jason here for Andy's. Family-owned, 4 generations. They are a tradition out here at the State Fair. Andy's Grill has been here since 1983, and every year we talk about some of the fun drinks they have over there. That caramel apple seltzer with that caramel rim is so fun, and they told me that the chocolate chip beer is having a bit of a resurgence this year. It's actually a beer drinker's beer, a nice ale, has a little bit of chocolate chip undertone, and then those chocolate chips all along the edge. Andy's Grill also has great food. Yeah, how about a Philly? You know, you might be thinking, like, what is a Philly cheesesteak doing at the Minnesota State Fair? You know what it's doing here? It tastes good. Go check it out. They've got a bunch of new drinks for 2025, including the Hurricane, Orange Bliss, and the Pineapple Upside Down Cake Slushy. Why not? They're at Carnes and Liggett, right near all of the rides. It is Andy's Grill. Meet me at Andy's.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly what Susan and Kevin Borowick did. They join us now. I want to ask you about the process of working with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, and your agent, Kieran Evanson.
Well, it was just extremely smooth. We sat down, he did a market analysis for us so we could really develop a good pricing strategy. He sent out a staging consultant who helped us get things ready for showing. We just couldn't be happier. We received an offer, actually more than one offer, quite a bit over our asking price.
That's part of the whole Schuster Group difference, is that their marketing programs really target the right buyers. Did you feel that when they were going through the process with you?
Absolutely.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
They greatly exceeded our expectations, and I would say you just cannot go wrong working with the Schuster Group.
Contact John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
Representative Tom Emmer stopped a massive tax hike by voting to make the 20% small business tax deduction permanent. This means Minnesota's small businesses can grow, hire, and invest in our communities. Visit smallbusinessdeduction.com and thank Representative Emmer for protecting America's small businesses. Paid for by the National Federation of Independent Business.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
You're listening to News Talk 830 WCCO, live at the Minnesota State Fair. Presented by Lindus Construction, your trusted Minnesota and Wisconsin contractors for over 45 years. And by the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
All right, it's 3:27. We're continuing, of course, to react and bring you breaking developments about the shooting that is making national news once again. 23-year-old Robin Westman identified as the shooter. At this point, we really don't know much about the two children. I've heard some stories from friends about people who know people. And I mean, you know that when we learn more about the 8 8-year-old and the 10-year-old, it's going to be even more heartbreaking than knowing that you have an 8 and a 10-year-old who were killed in the pew of a church. The latest that we do know is that there are 3 searches going on into guns and into other evidence. The FBI and police and the Department of Justice trying to make sure that there weren't other people involved in this. But the police chief, Brian O'Hara, is saying that the guns were purchased legally. And that is what they know so far.
And recently, too, right? That was part of it?
That's right. They were purchased recently, and they were purchased legally. A rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol is what the shooter was armed with. They are looking into a little bit more about, why this church, what the relationship was from the official standpoint, but it has been reported in a number of different places that the shooter's mother worked at the church and retired a handful of years ago. So it wasn't like this was a recent
2021, I believe is what I read.
That was the latest. That was the post, kind of a retirement post that was put on Facebook. So they're still looking into all of this, and understandably, like you try to figure it out, Dan. And here at the fair, one of our fans came up and asked, why even mention the transition, the name change, the transgender aspect of this? And part of the reason is in the early moments of this, you're just trying to figure out who is this person and what could motivate. And in this case, I would say there's no evidence either way that the shooter's personal journey in legally changing from Robert to Robin at age 17 and now 6 years later, did that have anything to do with this? Who knows?
We don't know yet.
When you become extreme, and I guess what I look at is you can understand the circumstances that lead someone down a road of extremism. You can understand why someone might feel lost or left behind. Why you feel like you want to take a bunch of school kids in a church down with you, that is the part of this where I think maybe we'll never get an answer to this, but it's just that is incomprehensible.
I think it's perfectly rational for people to want some sort of rational explanation for this, right? What's the logic? How did this happen? But the problem is when somebody's doing something like this, they've broken with reality, with rationality, with logic. There is no logic to this. There is no rational explanation for this. This is a person who's very broken in some fashion that decided to take their own life and take all of these innocent lives with them. It's horrible. It's awful. It's evil. And yes, do we want to search for answers? I think that's a perfectly human thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure we're ever going to find anything that's even remotely satisfying in that regard.
No, there almost never is, right? There almost never is a satisfying explanation. And it's like when you try to piece together the actions of the shooter who showed up at politicians' homes. And you say, all right, well, what was the political ideology, or what was the religious background, or what was the family situation? And because people are doing things that make no sense, it's very difficult to kind of make it make sense to us. It hurts, though. I think it absolutely hurts. And CNN is now reporting, though, that the shooter did graduate from this K-8 school in 2017. So that's the latest news coming out of CNN. So as the afternoon and evening develops, we learn more. We'll share more with you as we find out. The newsroom, of course, working on this as well. We are going to break. A man who has covered the highs and the lows of Minnesota is with us out here at the fair. Don Shelby, WCCO TV legend. He will join us on the front porch. We are live at the State Fair covering a very sad, it is a sad day in Minnesota here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, be sure to meet at Andy's.
You're on the couch, shoes off, troubled by something. You've got a rant bubbling up about road construction, severe anxiety about tariffs, maybe a brilliant idea for fixing the twins. But calling in?
I'm running to a meeting.
Going live on air? Too much pressure. That's why we made the voice message feature. You talk, we listen. No interruptions, no judgment. Just vent from the couch. And the best part? Pants are optional. It's your moment. Let it out, Minnesota. It's therapeutic. Record anytime on the Odyssey app and say it to News Talk 830 WCCO.
The weather is cooler. The fall weather is here. I know what you're thinking. Jason, fall weather, we're done with the landscape. I don't have to mow anymore. I don't have to plant. You're wrong. You're wrong. The fall is the best time of the year to plant new trees, new shrubs, new perennials, and our friends at Pro Turf want to come to your yard and spruce it up. The fall is so good to plant new trees because the soil's a little cooler. The roots are ready to rock. You can water it, have it good to go in time for the freeze, and then you're off and running next spring. The other benefit is you beat the spring rush. You don't have to deal with everybody who looks out at their yard and is like, this looks like trash. Pro Turf will take care of you. They take care of my yard. I just reached out to them today because I planted one mint plant on the side of my house 15 years ago. And currently I'm running a farmer's market stand selling mint because there's so dang much mint on the side of my house. Pro Turf can help you do a design that is small, or they can redo your whole yard, whatever you're looking for. And right now they're throwing in a free 6-foot Colorado spruce or a 2-inch sugar maple tree with any project of $4,000 or more. That's a $650 value. So let's go. 952-469-8680. You probably don't have a pencil with you, but I bet you can remember professionalturf.com.
Chad back here with you, talking once again about Pella. Yes, I finally moved. And yes, when I moved, I made sure the house would have, guess what? Pella windows and doors, 100 years in business. Have them come out to your place, PellaNorthland.com, for a free, no obligation visit. Go to the showroom, Plymouth and Woodbury, and what a deal in August. 0% APR for 72 months or 20% off your Pella project, PellaNorthland.com.
612 Saturdays are back at Target Field. Enjoy $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food when gates open.
I'm from the 952. Can I enjoy 612 Saturdays?
The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is welcome at 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Chef IQ Sense. Traveling 94 westbound in St. Paul. Got a crash working your Highway 52 up to the right shoulder, but things are jammed up as you make way through the downtown area. You're also going to find slowdowns for West 94 as move between Huron and Lowry Hill Tunnel. East 94, that's a slow ride here on over to Snelling. North 100, watching slowdowns as move past County Road 81 up to I-94. And 100 slowing both directions between 66th Street and 50th. The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer that perfectly cooks your food. The Chef IQ probe is inserted into your food and connects with the Chef IQ app to ensure you never under or overcook your food. It's that simple. Order now on Chef IQ with code word WCCO for 15% off. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mike Lynch here, and it goes without saying that Sweet Martha's cookies at the Minnesota State Fair are the best. But did you know you can have Sweet Martha's cookies year-round? That's right. Sweet Martha's cookie dough available in all kinds of flavors in the frozen food department of your favorite grocery store.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Sweet Martha's Cookies. Doesn't get better than that. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A few isolated showers are possible, otherwise partly cloudy overnight with a low around 62. 75 the high the next couple of days with a partly cloudy sky. Maybe a few more clouds on Friday, but we should stay dry. That looks to be the case into Labor Day weekend as well. Average high is 79, so running just a few degrees below that.
Right now at the State Fair, probably I think this is the perfect State Fair weather. 78 and sunny here on CCO.
Courtesy of Lindus Construction, your trusted Minnesota and Wisconsin contractors for over 45 years, and the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. We're live at the Minnesota State Fair on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, 3:39. We are continuing to monitor for new developments. Shooting at a school in Minneapolis. Just within the last couple of minutes, we got a statement from State Senator John Hoffman, who made his first public appearance in front of the national DFL gathering that was here in Minneapolis. They actually cut that short this morning because of the shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church. And John, Yvette, and Hope, their daughter, just released a statement that said the evil actions of an individual can impact the lives of so many. The victims in our community, our family understands this firsthand and calls on our state and the nation to find more grace and peace in our daily lives. Don Shelby is with us now, who has covered more than his share of these sorts of tragedies. But Don, I think that what the Hoffmans are saying is probably the best take that anyone can have on this, that we do need to find a way to sort of step away from extremism, which is what really maybe the common thread with the assassination and with what we saw this morning.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going the opposite direction politically. I'm off the air. I still deal in facts, but the facts before me tell me that we are going the opposite direction. We are becoming more and more extreme on either side.
What do you think that's about?
Blame, people feeling that they are somehow not getting a fair shake. Their life is not turning out the way they wish it would turn out. And instead of saying, let me examine my life, let me examine my choices in my life, let me rectify that, let me try to improve upon that, is to simply blame another person. And so I would like to say two things about the coverage of this kind of terrible thing, that I've covered hundreds in my life. And the effect on a reporter who covers these things, most people think, oh, we're acting and this is just another event, and then tomorrow there'll be another event and you have to switch focus and you just keep going. These things compound. It is for me a a terrible, not just day, it is the continuation of a terrible period of time in our history. And I want to be, as a reporter, I want to do some pattern recognition. I want to see what are the patterns that exist that create these circumstances. And very quickly, I'll just tell you the pattern, the only pattern, whether it's the Las Vegas shooting from a tower into a rock and roll concert, or if it's Columbine, it is someone with an individual problem. And I'm not even going to call it a mental health problem. I'm certainly not going to call it a gender problem. It could be any kind of problem. And they come to the end of their rope, and instead of committing suicide, which I would never, ever suggest anyone do, but instead of just committing suicide, which when you and I were younger people in our community committed suicide.
That's right.
They didn't go out and kill a whole bunch of people before they killed themselves. I don't know what it is in this society or this time in life that says the only way that I can mark my death and make it real is if I take people out with me. I really don't have any animus toward these children. I have no animus toward these concert goers.
Yeah.
I have no animus, but I just need to do something to make a mark that makes my life worth something, at least at the last moment.
When you feel like you have no worth
at all, that nobody else therefore
Right.
has worth. So you're not really taking a life if you intend to take your own, that the value of life itself is negligible.
Yeah.
And so that's what bothers me, that the choice is to take other people with you.
Right. Yeah, it's the and that's the part of it I think that's very difficult to get your arms around, because you say, all right, like you said, I don't encourage it, but you do understand when people feel like they're lost or they have their life has
absolutely. People,
we all
go
have those
through-
moments.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't count the number of times that I have felt desperate in my life.
Right.
But I never thought that I ought to go out and kill people.
Right.
To make a point that my life was worth something.
And it is difficult to have, and I understand why people want to have a mental health conversation, which is a valid conversation. And I understand why people want to have a guns conversation, which is also, these are valid conversations.
But they're policy
That's
discussions.
Right.
They're not discussions that have to do with how human beings interrelate to
That's
one
right.
another.
It still doesn't get to what is going on there. I wonder a little bit. This shooter apparently posted an 11-minute, and I watched this thing, and I wish I didn't, an 11-minute video, and posted this yesterday. And you wonder, I don't know, we're in such a fraught time where we are really being faced with these questions about free speech and the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment, and also our ability to try to stop some of these tragedies from happening. It's very difficult to balance all of these things.
Well, I have to tell you something as a confession. I don't like to make this confession because I like to think of myself as a thoughtful person, a person who analyzes and tries to come up with some sort of answer, an understanding, if not an answer. I am completely flummoxed by what is happening in this country today. I don't understand it.
How so?
I can't figure out why we have become so divided, why we hate each other so much. I just don't understand how that works. It kind of reminds me of saying, if you did a poll on Congress, Congress ends up with 13% approval rating. But if you did a poll on your Congress member, then they're in the 80s.
Yeah, we love it. Right.
And there is something to learn from that. At a distance, people, capital P, we can dislike people as human beings, as silly as that sounds.
Right.
Often I've heard people say that people are not very good human beings. that at a distance where we do not know individuals, they are not meaningful in our lives. But the more we have in our lives, the closer we have relationships, even with those people with whom we disagree, that has a tendency then to lessen the enmity.
Right.
That it increases at least the interest in trying to understand, if not excuse.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the fact technology, which, boy, you remember the earlier days of the internet and you thought, like, what promise we have to sort of bring people together. You have people where you could, whatever your hobby, whatever your interest is, you could find someone who shares that with you. And instead, it has allowed people to isolate and still feel like they're existing, but without any of those benefits that you just spoke of.
And one of the things that bothers me most about what has happened to journalism, for instance, is that people can pick and choose the facts they choose to believe.
Yeah.
And I always wish to say, here is a fact, know this and proceed. I don't care how you proceed, but here is a fact.
This is a fact.
And now you have this fact. You cannot unknow this fact.
Right.
So you have to incorporate this factual information into your behavior. And you may choose let's say a conservative approach to solving the problem, or a liberal approach to solving the problem. I don't care.
But you started from the same fact.
Yeah. And I don't care which way you go. I never have cared which way you go, as long as you agree that this is a fact. 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
Let's agree on that. Let's not debate whether 2 + 2 is 6 or 5. It just doesn't matter whether it's your opinion. It would be better off for you if it was a 5.
Right.
Or it would be better off for you if it was a 6. It doesn't matter whether it's better for you. The fact is, 2 apples and 2 apples is 4 apples.
Don Shelby is with us. We're going to break. When we come back, I want to talk about you returning to the stage.
Oh, okay.
Little love letters.
Okay.
We need some love. We need that for sure.
Yes.
Don Shelby with us at the State Fair. We're back in just a minute on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, meet at Andy's.
Thielen Meats of Piers is where tradition meets taste.
Family grown, employee owned. We've mastered the art of meat.
That's why we're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
And we're located right here in Piers.
Check out our mouthwatering selection at thielenmeats.com.
Better yet, stop in and see for yourself. We're serving up love one cut at a time.
Thielen Meats, from our family to your feast.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats
of Piers.
All right, Jason here with sort of a fall fashion tip for you. With the fall coming, a lot of guys are getting called back to the office for the first time. And so if you have not gotten a new suit in 5 years, it's time. It's time. The fashion change. Now, I'm not saying you put on a few pounds over the last 5 years, but I'm not saying you didn't. My friends at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria, they know customer service, they know style, they know fashion, they know how to make you look like you should be the boss when you go back to office. Are you mad that your boss made you go back to the office? Why don't you dress better than your boss and then take his job? I don't know. I think that would be revenge for you. J.H. & Sons says the team that can make you look your best. This weekend, I wore this burgundy, unstructured suit jacket out to dinner in downtown Minneapolis and got so many compliments about it. And one of my friends is like, I bet that's from J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. I'm like, you know it is. That is correct. So go check it out. They're dressing me. They're dressing me better than I was dressing when Don Shelby asked if I was trying to look like a clown. No, his quote was, is your wardrobe from Barnum and Bailey? That was his quote. And it also was fair. It was fair and also accurate. J.H. & Sons, you can sign up for their email list at jhsons.com.
Construction problems come with challenges, but legal issues shouldn't be one of them. At Helmuth & Johnson, we focus on construction law, protecting contractors, developers, and business owners from costly disputes. From contract negotiations to litigation and compliance, we make sure your projects stay on track and your interests stay protected. Whether it's a delay, a dispute, or a deal, we've got you covered. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
It's State Fair time again, and that means awesome new products at great prices. And Mini Leaf is getting in on the fun. Right now, Mini Leaf is offering a buy two, get one free on all products. So buy 2 Sleep Night gummies, get one free. Buy 2 Triple Diamond Pain Cream Pods, get one free. You get the gist. Mini Leaf's products are of exceptional quality and 100% natural. Just go to minileaf.com to check out all of their products. MINNELEAF.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products, and also the sponsor of the Doobie Dabbler, happening September 5th and 6th at Seavers Festival Grounds in Shakopee. Thanks to our friends at Mini Leaf. Remember, buy 2, get 1 free at minileaf.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Online security is a must, and millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer and more private online. And you can do that too. Get NordVPN with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic from data snoopers and internet service providers, while NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro will reduce risk of phishing and alert you about the fake online shops and known scams. And that's not all. If your email address is leaked to the dark web, you will get an instant notification from the Dark Web Monitor and act accordingly. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by American Rare Coin and Collectibles. You can find them at AmericanRareCoinAndCollectibles.com. West 94, Highway 52. Got your multi-car crash off to the right side at Highway 52. Your slowdown's back as you make way toward Mounds Boulevard. East 94 is a slow ride, and pretty much as you make way past Hiawatha, heading up toward Snelling Avenue. West 94 is jammed up. Hemlock Lane heading up into Brockton Lane. When a loved one passes or it's time to settle an estate, the valuables left behind can feel overwhelming. At American Rare Coin and Collectibles in Bloomington, they help navigate these moments with clarity and peace. Peace of mind starts with your appointment. American Rare Coin and Collectibles.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
One of the best State Fair traditions is to meet at Andy's to find out what's new. Or grab our #1 favorite for the past 4 years, the Caramel Apple Craft Seltzer in the caramel rimmed glass. And of course, Andy's Grill has everything Philly. You hungry yet? Meet at Andy's at the fair.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
They're brought to you by Andy's Grill. Tonight, the low is 62, isolated showers early. Tomorrow, 75, another great day at the State Fair. Right now, it's 78 on CCO.
CCO's State Fair coverage from the Great Minnesota Get-Together is built by Lindus Construction, your trusted Minnesota and Wisconsin contractors for over 45 years, and by the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Well, it's like the old days. Dan Cook giving Don Shelby time cues. At
58:35. We gotta get out of here.
You know, I mean, if Paul Douglas were here, he'd be ignoring the time cues. That's sort of how that
knew
works.
a time cue from Madam.
Oh my goodness. Well, when you're on the stage at Chanhassen Dinner Theater doing love letters again,
Yes.
you don't have to worry about time cues, do you?
No, you can do because it always runs exactly the same. We don't have to be called for time, rap, stretch. We don't have to do anything.
None of that stuff.
So it starts in September 3rd and runs through the 21st at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters. You can go to chanhassendt.com for tickets, and I'd love for you to see it. This is our 7th run, so we're apparently doing pretty well. We sell out, and it's a fun show, and Nancy's a wonderful actress. And then I just got word, and you may like this, that on April 20th, they're asking me to do a one-man Mark Twain show.
Oh,
and in the big room.
Oh, wow.
In the big room.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, outstanding.
So that's possible.
I love it. Don, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
You sound good.
I've been through a lot of stuff recently. That's because you're older than dirt. But that happens as you get older. Your knees are bad, backs are bad. And I've eaten too many cheese on a stick. And so my voice is not as strong as it wants to be. But I just wanted to say hello to all of the WCCO radio fans out there for years and years and years. And I can pass along a heartfelt hello from Jeff McKinney, the McSkinny from all those years.
Right.
I talked to him not long ago, and he wanted to remind people that he still remembers them.
Well, you introduced the world to my children, who now are both off at college.
Oh, my.
So I have people who say, Jason, I remember when Don Shelby said, we have a new addition to the WCCO news
That's
team.
right. Exactly.
Little Seth and little Sam. And
I remember that.
Now they're off at school. I love you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. I love you, Jason. Thank you. And congratulations on your great success.
Thank you. CBS News and the latest on the shooting at the Minneapolis Catholic School is next.
Accidents don't follow a playbook, but Postman Law has the winning strategy. We've helped clients recover over $3 billion by delivering personal attention and real results. Call 844-POSTMAN today, because when life throws you a curve, Postman delivers the compensation you deserve. Offices, Minneapolis.
All right, Jason here, and as I drove to the State Fair today, I saw a billboard with a guy with his arms wide out, and you know who it is. When you see a big old face and arms as wide as a billboard, you know it's Chris Lindahl time. Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl. He had 2 Pronto Pups in his hands, and he says on the billboard, get cash for your home pronto. That's what it's about. The guaranteed cash offer is not for everybody, but it is for you if you want to get out of your house fast. You don't want to do renovations. You don't want to deal with the uncertainty of the interest rate environment or somebody flaking out at the last minute. So find out what your home is worth at chrislindahl.com.
Your news when you want, how you want. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There was a deadly shooting today at a Minneapolis Catholic school as children gathered in a church. A gunman opened fire through the stained glass windows. 5th grader Weston Halsney.
The first one, I was like, what is that? I thought it was just something. Then when I heard it again, I just ran under the pew. And then I covered my head. My friend Victor, saved me, though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
2 children were killed, aged 8 and 10. More than a dozen others were wounded. Mayor Jacob Frey.
It's on all of us to recognize the truth and the reality that we can't just say that this shouldn't happen again and then allow it to happen again and again beyond that. It's on all of us.
The police chief says the 23-year-old suspect fired dozens of shots before killing himself and left behind a manifesto. CBS's Anna Schechter on the other evidence.
In the writings that this individual put on the actual weapons, this is someone who had grievances against a number of different groups, and that's why it's challenging to sort out a motive. In fact, there are other social media videos online, other social media posts by this individual, extensive writings that were found in one of the residences. So they're reviewing all of that.
President Trump has ordered flags flown at half staff. Updated COVID vaccines have been approved, along with new guidelines from the Trump administration on who can get them. Linda Kenyon reports.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says emergency use authorizations issued during the Biden administration are over. Now the vaccines designed to target the newest version of COVID have been approved for seniors, younger adults, and children with at least one underlying health condition like obesity, for example, can get a vaccine, but but must first consult with their doctors.
A judge in Maryland has extended a restraining order that blocks the removal of Kilmar Abrego Garcia from the U.S. His lawyers say he's seeking asylum in this country. Jim Krasula has the latest on a Florida detention center ordered shut down.
The head of Florida's emergency management says the controversial state-run detention facility in the Everglades, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, will likely soon be empty. That's according to the Associated Press. The state has been fighting a federal judge's order to close the facility by the end of October.
The Transportation Department has taken over Washington, D.C.'s Union Station from Amtrak. On Wall Street today, stock finished higher. The Dow was up 147. The NASDAQ was up by 45 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit progressive.com today.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Partly cloudy, 76 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Standing together in grief.
We lost 2 angels today. And please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future.
Annunciation school principal Matt DeBoer following this morning's mass shooting that killed an 8 and 10-year-old child and injured 17 others as they were praying at a mass to celebrate the first week of school. We're learning more about the shooter who took their own life today as well.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says it was 23-year-old Robin Westman.
As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter.
Investigators have been combing through 4 different homes in Minneapolis that may have been connected to Westman, whose mother once worked in the Annunciation Parish office. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Westman also posted an 11-minute video manifesto on social media. U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar talking with WCCO's Chad Hartman.
All kinds of things out there in the internet. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's not. But we know there was kind of all-purpose hate against a lot of different groups, honestly. A lot of different people. It's not all left or right or whatever.
Klobuchar says she's most concerned about the children who had to witness such devastating trauma. Weston Halsney is a 5th grader at Annunciation School.
It was like shots fired, and then we kind of like got under the pews. It kind of they shot through the stained glass windows, I think, and it was really scary.
Meanwhile, the FBI is investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. Twin Cities Archbishop Bernard Hebda sharing a message from Pope Leo.
And he sends his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of spiritual closeness to all those affected by this terrible tragedy, especially the families now grieving the loss of a child, while commending the souls of the deceased children to the love of Almighty God.
Hebda is asking everyone to look for ways to support those who have been impacted, not only with prayer, but also with action. A community vigil is planned for tonight at Lyndhurst Park. The address is 1345 West Minnehaha Parkway in South Minneapolis. It starts at 8 o'clock. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by LaUna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. If you're headed to the fairgrounds, you did have a crash West 94 near Highway 52. That just cleared out a few minutes ago, but it is still sluggish through the downtown St. Paul area. Park and ride lots are full except for a handful of lots. They're Church of Corpus Christi, Minnesota Office Plaza, North Heights Lutheran Church, Roseville Covenant, and U of M Minneapolis campus. Right now, those have spots available for you. Traveling 169 northbound, that's a slow ride as you move between Valley View, pretty much all the way up toward I-94. LaUna, Minnesota, remind you to slow down in construction zones. The members of LaUna and the union contractors are building better infrastructure for you. So please slow down and pay attention to the road signs when you see orange and yellow. Brought to you by LaUna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
choose Herbert and Gerbert's when you want fresh ingredients for a perfect sandwich like the Italian Flash or the Turkey Avocado Norma. Funky names that are full of flavor. And don't forget our hearty soups and chili. Stop by or order ahead online. HerbertandGerberts.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It's brought to you by Herbert and Gerbert's. Fresh ingredients on sandwiches always. And don't forget the soup. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Can't rule out a few isolated showers. Will be dry overnight as we cool back to 62. Partly cloudy and 75 tomorrow. A few more clouds with a similar high on Friday. We should be mainly dry through Labor Day weekend with highs running just slightly below average in the 70s.
Partly cloudy right now, 76 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Trusted information and talk you can count on. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Now, here's Jason DeRUSHA.
I want to talk about when something terrible happens. What's your reaction when someone says hearts and prayers, sends their hearts and prayers out to the people involved? It's Jason, Drive Time with DeRUSHA, here live at the State Fair. Dan is with me, and it's something that people say, and it's become a hot topic. And the mayor of Minneapolis actually brought this up, and he's getting roasted on social media, I think unfairly. Everybody in the aftermath of something awful, like what happened in South Minneapolis today, man, people find it real hard to set aside their previous biases and just have some human emotion for the fact that two children were gunned down sitting in the church pews of their Catholic school's church, right? Like, could we just start there instead of starting with, oh, Jacob Fry just told us all not to pray for the victims? Don't be stupid. That is not what Jacob Fry was saying. That said, I do think especially people who are gun control advocates have made it very dismissive that if you send thoughts and prayers, that you're doing nothing. And I reject that too. Sending your thoughts and your prayers to people, that is the essence of humanity. You should be sending your thoughts and your prayers to this family, to this neighborhood, honestly, to the family of the shooter. My heart hurts for them. So there are a lot of people who are worthy of our thoughts and prayers. So I do not like the dismissive attitude that has come out that sending your thoughts and prayers is nothing. It is something. Dan, you're
yeah. There's a lot of things I'm mad about today. First and foremost, the two kids that are dead that should absolutely still be alive. That's the first thing to be absolutely furious about. And that 17 people are in the hospital right now, hurt, not sure, how they're going to come out. Furious about that. Furious about a lot of things. And I'm also upset that thoughts and prayers have become a political punchline to the point that the Minneapolis mayor felt the need to say what he said today. And I'm not necessarily arguing with him, but when he says thoughts and prayers aren't enough, and we can play that clip here in a minute, I understand what he's getting at, but thoughts and prayers are a whole lot. And for some of us, it's all we've got. It's all we can really do in a situation, at least in the immediate aftermath of something like this. So I hate that it feels being dismissed. And I'm sure that probably wasn't what was in his heart when he said it, but I didn't like it when he said it for that very reason.
I think it's become shorthand for thoughts and prayers is where we start. It's not where we end. And so I think the idea the reason it is rejected, again, I disagree with the rejecting of it.
Yes.
But the reason it's rejected is that if you send your thoughts and prayers and then wash your hands and congratulate yourself that you've done the right thing, you have not done enough. But I think it's one thing to say, I don't think policymakers should send thoughts and prayers and then take actions that are not leading to any sort of better outcomes for us. I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't think like anyone in our crowd here at the State Fair, your thoughts and prayers matter.
Absolutely. They do.
So I do think it's become a shorthand that I don't like. Let's listen to what the mayor had to say when he was on with Chad Hartman today.
There are no words that can capture the horror of this completely unspeakable and evil act. And thoughts and prayers are not good enough. These kids were literally praying. They were in a church. It was the first week of school. These kids should be laughing on a playground and learning with their friends. They should be messing around in the cafeteria. That's what you do when you're a kid. And no kid, no family should have to fear for their lives or their safety when they go into school. And so, no, thoughts and prayers, of course, they're not good enough.
So I think that's objectively correct. It's not enough.
Right.
But also this sort of political act of dismissing thoughts and prayers, I find to be pretty ridiculous.
I find it to be very, very cynical.
Because thoughts and prayers do matter.
100% they do.
And especially in the moments right after a tragedy, frankly, thoughts and prayers may be a better move than the 47-point policy position that you're throwing out before you even have a dang clue as to what caused someone to do something. Now, that said, we also can't make we can't make our policy goals to be, well, any sort of act we take has to 100% have prevented what happened in South Minneapolis today. And that's also stupid. So I suppose my greater frustration, Dan, is that once again, even in the wake of just a terrible tragedy that's happened right in our backyard, so many of us can't get past like playing the hits. Yep. We play the hits of what our typical kind of go-to is. And it has become like it's especially Democrats who say thoughts and prayers aren't enough because they're frustrated that Republicans have not done more to advance gun control legislation. Just stop demeaning thoughts and prayers and then go ahead and say, like, just sending well wishes is a nice beginning.
Right, but we can't stop that.
But we can't stop.
We're allowed to walk and chew gum at the same time. That is possible. We can both share our thoughts and our prayers and our hopes for, these grieving families, and we can have legitimate policy conversations. It's not one or the other. We binary everything in this culture right now, and it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. You can do both. You don't have to dismiss one to do the other.
Right. Now the soundbite that we played was the mayor
on with
Chad. When what he's really getting roasted over is what he said at the news conference this morning. And again, I would say, like, the people who are roasting the mayor are willfully misinterpreting what he was saying, because he is saying that it's not enough. Now, I think he was being more dismissive of it than I would have chosen.
Right.
But he's not saying don't. All over social media, there are people saying, mayor says don't pray for the victim. Which is such a load of crap, because that is not what he said. He literally said that thoughts and prayers were not enough. So I think the way that people are saying it, I'm taking issue with. I don't think that Jacob Fry is saying don't send thoughts and prayers. He's not.
He's not. But the way that he said it opens the door to that kind of criticism, which is a fun way to distract us from what's really going on here, which is the fact that, again, 2 children that should be alive are dead, and 17 people are in the hospital because a monster went to a school at a Catholic church and shot it up. But instead of arguing about stuff that's actually going to impact that, we get to argue about thoughts and prayers. And I'm not accusing you of this.
Right.
I'm saying the fact that he said it that way opens the door for people to do this and grab that ball and run with it in a direction that it doesn't need to run with.
I wish we would just say what we want to happen.
Yes.
I want more action on gun control. I want parents to take more action in calling police if something is a red flag from their kid. Things like that, I think, is what I would like to see. Tell us what you want. without that sort of shorthand that then becomes another political argument. It is 4:16. We will update you the second that we learn any new information about what happened at Annunciation Church. But part of why Dan and I decided to come out the state fair today and see all of you who are with us at our WCCO booth, seeing the beautiful weather, seeing people living life and enjoying life, is that we cannot just let ourselves kind of mire in the hopelessness of what happened today. There is joy. There is love. There are young people who are the future. And part of that is with our farming and our ag community that gets to come out here at the fair and have so much fun. So one of our traditions on Drive Time with DeRUSHA is a radio segment with a llama. Two llamas. Because what's better radio than a live animal guest that you cannot see? I think it's tremendous. It's one of my favorite things. So after break, now we will this year in a new innovation, we will stream this on YouTube. So subscribe to the WCCO Radio YouTube channel and see the llamas and see some kids and feel some hope and love. We're spreading that live at the fair here on Drive Time with DeRUSH.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, be sure to meet at Andy's.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that summer trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
All right, it's Jason here for my friends at Minnesota Pork. You know I love Minnesota Pork. It is absolutely delicious. 3,000 family farmers every corner of the state, and the state fair is such a great time to go visit your favorite Minnesota pig farmer. I went out to the Oink booth, got to meet the largest boar. Have you guys seen the largest boar at the state fair? 902 pounds. That is a big pig. Now, some of you thought you saw the largest boar at the state fair when Don Shelby was with us a little bit ago, but there is a giant pig and then a bunch of baby pigs in the animal barns. My favorite thing about going out the Minnesota Pork booth is not just seeing those pigs and seeing the animals. It's the farmers. It's just the farmers for me. You get to meet a Minnesota farmer, maybe a kid who lives on the farm, and get a chance to talk to them about what life is like. The best way you can support our Minnesota pork community is by getting your grocery store, your butcher shop, and let's do it. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Grown-ups, aren't Sundays more fun without... Can I have screen time? Can I have a snack? I don't want to go to Grandma's. It smells funny. And I'm bored. Bored is impossible on Kids Day at Target Field. The gate 30 for lawn is turned into Bullseye's backyard. Kids' meals are half off. Kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. And Grandma's invited too. Enjoy your weekend wind-up with Sunday Kids Days, presented by Target. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust
and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No, my entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend. Oh, my Bob!
Live from the Minnesota State Fair, News Talk 830 WCCO's broadcasts are built by Lindus Construction, your trusted Minnesota and Wisconsin contractors for over 45 years, and by the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
All right, it's llama time. You guys, the crowd has been waiting for llama time. I feel like we all need a little llama in our lives today, for sure. It's a heavy day here in Minnesota, but the fair is happening. There is love, there is joy, and we have the future of Minnesota with us here on the front porch. A couple of 4-H kids with their llamas. I love it. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? What's your name?
I'm Claire.
Claire, you're from Anoka County?
Yeah.
Very good. And you are?
My name is Layton.
Layton, and you are from?
Lyon County.
Lyon County. Very good. Layton and Claire, let's hear it for them. Thank you guys for coming. Claire, why don't you start? Your llama seems a little afraid of me. Is the llama a little frightened?
Yeah, he's just a little nervous with all the sounds and people.
It's understandable, right? Like a lot. I provoke this similar reaction in a lot of people. What drew you to llamas?
I don't know. I just think they're really cool animals, and I thought it would be fun. So.
Can I pet the llama?
Yeah, he likes his neck being pet the most.
Right over here?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. You know, I like my neck being pet as well. I understand that. How old are you?
I'm 13.
13? So you're like freshman year or 8th grade?
8th grade year.
8th grade. When do you go back to school?
In about a week.
Now, the llamas, part of the fun with the llamas is you get the big llama costume competition, right?
Yeah.
And are you dressing up your llama?
Yeah.
Here, you want me? I'll hold this microphone so you can make sure you. What's your llama's name?
He's Andrew.
And what is Andrew going to dress up like tonight?
He's going to be Miss Peacock, and I'm going to be Professor Plum from the board game Clue.
Oh, I like it. A little clue setup. How confident are you in your costume? They judge this, right?
There's a lot of good costumes there, so I don't know.
How fun. Where in Anoka County are you from?
I live in Champlain.
Nice. All right. Just up the road from me. I'm in Maple Grove, so right by you. Well, good luck tonight, all right? Have you ever done this before?
I was here last year.
What's the best costume you ever did?
Last year I was Little Bo Peep and the Sheep, and this year Professor Plum and
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you. Are you two competing against each other?
No, I'm not doing costume.
No
this
costume
year.
for you.
No.
All right. Layton, you're from Pine County.
Lyon County.
Lyon County.
Mhm.
And tell me about your llama here.
This is my llama. His name is Rhett, and he is 2 years old.
2 years old. And I don't want to make too big of a deal out of this because, you know, everybody poops. But these llamas have left the biggest mess since the Chad Hartman show was out here at the State Fair. Llamas do some business, don't they?
Yes, they do.
What do you like about llamas? What do you like most?
I just like helping out around the farm with them and doing obstacles with them.
Doing obstacles. Can I pet your llama?
Yeah, of course.
And same spot here, you think?
Yeah, around the neck.
Right around the neck. The fur is very soft. Are llamas nice animals? You know, everyone asks the same. I'm sure the people in the audience are thinking the same thing. Everybody asks the same question about llamas, right? It's about spitting.
Yeah.
Which I am sick and tired of the llama slander. They're not aggressive spitters, are they?
They can spit, but they mainly just spit at other llamas.
They just spit at other llamas. It's llama on llama violence, and that's fine. What does it mean when they're spitting?
They're just mad at each other. It's usually when they're stealing food from each other.
Sure. Yeah. Same reaction that my kids have with each other. I get it. Do you guys you're on a farm? Are you on a farm too?
Yeah.
So you're both on the farm. What do you wish people, we have a lot of city folks, a lot of suburban folks. What do you wish people would know about life on the farm?
It's really fun.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, meet at Andy's. It's the land of deep-fried everything, where even salad dressing is better than sautéed. Where winning a game scores you a plushie so big, it'll need its own seatbelt on the ride home. Where the fashion is cowboy boots, jorts, and neon fanny packs. And where News Talk 830 WCCO will be broadcasting live all 12 days on Carnes Avenue, just down from Ye Old Mill. See the schedule at WCCOradio.com.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Thinking about buying or selling a business? The right legal team makes all the difference. At Helmuth & Johnson, our team specializes in sophisticated mergers and acquisitions, guiding you through every negotiation, contract, and closing with skill and precision. From due diligence to deal structuring, we are 100% client-focused, protecting your interests so you can focus on success. Big or small, we make complex transactions seamless. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side for all of your business needs.
Fair food, fair fun, and fair only savings. By the Yard's Minnesota State Fair sale is here. The sale everyone waits for. For 30 years, they've built premium maintenance-free outdoor furniture right here in Minnesota. It's still the best seat at the fair. Find them in the corner of the 4-H building on Cosgrove and get fair-only pricing now through September 2nd. Or stop by the showrooms, Woodbury, Maple Grove, or Jordan. With By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
You guys are not going to believe this, but just a couple of minutes ago out here at our State Fair booth, a woman came up to me and said, Jason, I have to thank you for Livia. It's Jason here for Livia Weight Control Centers. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, what, did you join Livia? And she said, yes, she heard about me losing 45 pounds with Livia and keeping all that weight off. So she was inspired to go to Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And she lost 100 pounds. 100 pounds. Unbelievable. It makes me so happy to know that people have been inspired to pursue a healthier lifestyle. And they do it with the help of Livia Weight Control Centers. Now, right now, you can get 50% off Livia's nutrition program. That's what I use to lose 45 pounds and to keep that weight off for 2.5 years, including here at the fair. Or their GLP-1 weight loss medications are just $149 a month. The beauty of Livia is even if you're interested in the medical weight loss, the medications, they team it up with nutrition. So you're supercharged and set up for success. 855-GO-LIVIA or Livia.com.
Heading out for the weekend? Lucky you.
Don't forget to stop at Thieler Meats of Pierce for some melt-in-your-mouth moments.
High quality beef.
Fresh and smoked sausages and brats.
Home smoked bacon.
All natural chicken.
A great selection of fish and seafood.
Visit us at ThielerMeats.com.
We've got the cuts that'll make your meal.
Call to order ahead and pick up on your way to the lake.
You'll be the hit of the party.
No meals complete without Thieler Meats
of Pierce.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Chef IQ Sense. North 169 is make way toward 63rd. Solid vehicle in the left lane now moved off to the shoulder, but it's still a bit slow as you come up from Rockford Road. West 94 is jamming up and make way past 169. Pretty much all the way up toward Brockton Lane. 10 westbound jamming up as you make your run past Hanson Boulevard. On 94 eastbound, got some slowdowns there as you move between Huron Boulevard, heading up to Snelling Avenue. Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer that perfectly cooks your food. Chef IQ Probe is inserted into your food and connects to the Chef IQ app to ensure you never under or overcook your food. It's that simple. Order now on ChefIQ.com with code word WCCO for 15% off. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meat, smoked fresh, in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader, bringing us the weather forecast from Chris Schaefer.
A few isolated showers are possible, otherwise partly cloudy overnight with a low around 62. 75 the high the next couple of days with a partly cloudy sky. Maybe a few more clouds on Friday, but we should stay dry. That looks to be the case into Labor Day weekend as well. Average high is 79, so running just a few degrees below that.
It's so nice out here. Sunny, a little bit of sun peeking through 78 on CCO.
You're listening to News Talk 830 WCCO, live at the Minnesota State Fair, presented by Lindus Construction, your trusted Minnesota and Wisconsin contractors for over 45 years, and by the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
All right, 4:36, we are live at the State Fair, but of course, we are WCCO Radio, so we're still monitoring and following all the developments Oh man, it's one of those mornings where you wake up and think like, I hope this isn't true. The first reports coming out around 8:20 that there were police responding to a mass shooting near a school. And this followed yesterday where we had, it is a reality that we have had an incredibly violent last 36 hours or so here in Minneapolis. And I hesitate to combine them because they're so different. You have one barrage of street crime. Appears to, by my analysis, looks like gang activity and retribution. We had a shooting into a crowd of people near Cristo Rey, which is an amazing Jesuit high school in Minneapolis on Lake Street. School I don't think was in session. I don't think it was related to the school, but that's just the marker. But then there was another shooting at 8 o'clock at night and then another shooting at 2 in the morning. Then you think about the police officers responding to shooting after shooting after shooting. We don't have that many police officers in Minneapolis anymore. So it's a lot of the same men and women responding to that 1:30 mass shooting on Lake Street, brazen, middle of the day. Then retribution, then 2 a.m. at Hennepin and 8th, right in the heart of downtown. Obviously 2 in the morning, but still, my God. And then at 8:15, the call comes out again. And what do? They respond. It's what they do. But this has to, I don't know if anything prepares you as a law enforcement officer to respond inside a church where a 10 and an 8-year-old are dead in the pews. Joe Tamburino is our legal analyst, criminal defense attorney in Minneapolis, friend of the show, and it's so good to see you at the fair, Joe. We've been texting since early this morning about this.
I know. It's just completely unbelievable. We have been texting since early this morning.
Unbelievable. There are so many questions when you have an investigation like this. Obviously, when the shooter is dead, it doesn't reduce the urgency in getting answers because, well, we want to know for sure, did anybody else have an opportunity to prevent this, or did anybody give any sort of assistance? So far, it doesn't look like there was, but that's the prime question I think you and I had earlier today.
That's right. Well, they're going to be looking at three things. One is, how did he obtain the weapons? And from what we know from the public statements from the chief of police, looks like the weapons were legally obtained.
Legally and recently.
That's right.
Which is always like, people have much more well thought out opinions on gun control and legislative decisions than I do. But I always feel like, man, if we could what would happen if we made people wait a month?
Well, sometimes there's two other things though. So one is, were they legally obtained? Yes,
Right.
It looks like they are.
Looks like, yeah.
The second thing is, did anyone have any signs about this? Like, could it have been prevented? And what we go back to is what happened last year in the Michigan case.
That's right.
With the Crumleys, where the parents were prosecuted. We don't know anything about that yet.
And in this case, the suspect was an adult.
Right.
So does that change things?
Well, it changes things about parental responsibility, of course, but it doesn't change about if it was any type of situation going into number 3, which is, did he have help to do any of this?
Yeah.
With the Burnsville case the other year, there was a straw purchaser, things along those lines. But to get back to your point about a waiting period, yes, there are some waiting periods that will take up to a month, and that's if you're buying certain types of semi-automatic weapons. But normally, if you are an adult, 18 years or over, you do not have any type of criminal history, and you want to buy a handgun, you just have to get a permit to purchase, and usually the background check is happening within days.
The Star Tribune in the last 15 minutes posted that they had Rob Dorr, who's amazing. He's the vice president of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. I like Rob a lot. Mm-hmm. He looked at the YouTube video that was recently posted by the now dead suspect in this, the killer. And he identified the weapons as an AR-15, a Mossberg 590 Cruiser shotgun, and a pretty standard Smith & Wesson compact 9mm handgun. Also a revolver that looked like a Colt 38 Special Police video. So police issue. So those were the 4 weapons in the video. Law enforcement have said that he had a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Well,
that's all pretty common stuff.
That's right. I mean, that's going to be, especially if it's legally obtained, meaning that the person literally got a permit to purchase. We don't know if there was a permit to carry in this case.
Right.
And with most of your rifle type of weapons, you're not going to need that. I mean, these are all legally obtained weapons. And, we have, whether you like it or not, but we have a right to have a firearm. And that was basically even solidified in 2008 with the Heller decision out of Washington, D.C. that said for personal protection. There was even the most recent case, I think it was the Jacobson case, that's in the 8th Circuit, which we're part of the 8th Circuit, that said you could be 18. You can't cut it off at 21. So if you want to be able to have a firearm, you could be at 18. So these are the laws, and we're going to have to live with these laws. We basically, I think, should be looking at, the anger that's out there, because that's prevalent.
Boy, the anger is so concerning, right? Do you see this more like when you're in the courtroom or?
Oh, sure.
What
you see anger we see anger even in our politics. I mean, let's face it, political leaders could do one thing right now, which is to decide to tone down the anger. And let's start with just cussing and swearing. We have political leaders who seem to think it's appropriate that you could cuss and swear in public. I mean, look at what happened 2 weeks ago, even with the vice president of the Minneapolis City Council, council member Chugtai, who's cussing and swearing and yelling about Mayor Fry and everything. The rhetoric just has to get toned down.
Do you think that rhetoric is what's sending people over the edge, or do you think it's just I don't know, we have the ability to go down these rabbit holes into extremism, and whichever way you want to go, left-wing extremism, right-wing extremism.
It's on both sides. Absolutely. No, I mean, of course, the rhetoric doesn't cause it. But what happens is we become numb to more and more of this anger, this vitriol, this type of bad language, even just so to say. So the more we hear of it, the more we experience it, we somehow get used to it. Now, is it a direct cause to something horrific as today? No, of course not. But it shouldn't be part of our common dynamic every day as we read the paper and listen to the radio and watch TV.
Yeah, people are so mad.
Absolutely.
I understand like some of the disenfranchisement that people feel, or that life isn't what they hoped it to be, or whatever. But this idea that you need to take somebody down with you, like you got to make a statement, you got to post a video. I wanted to ask you about that video, because by all accounts, and police have said I'm always hesitant when you see stuff flying around, AI and deep fakes and all of that. But the police chief has said there is a video and there is a manifesto.
Right.
And so the video that's been floating around the internet, first of all, I'm astonished that if I try to post a video on YouTube that has like a mention of a beer, it gets pulled down. How is there an obligation with the technology platforms? They are searching keywords. They are searching conversation all the time. This video laid out what he was going to do. Right. I mean, it is a very disturbing video. Do the tech companies have any obligation to police this better?
Well, I think there's a moral obligation, but legally, no.
Not really.
And the reason for that is, unfortunately, back in the 90s, and I forget the year, when the internet was up and running, Congress decided that, you know what, we're not going to treat the internet like a newspaper, which means they don't have an obligation to make sure that what they're putting out there is the truth. If Congress would switch that law, if you made people like trial attorneys like me and some people in the crowd to be able to go sue an internet company for defamation, for things that they know are putting out there that's false or harmful, things would change immediately. But right now you can't do that.
How do they trace the guns in this case? I mean, the fact that they know he bought them legally and recently.
Yeah, that's going to be easily traced. I mean, you're going to be able to find out where he got them, how he got them. That's not going to be an issue in this case. It's mostly an issue in cases where obviously there are straw purchasers, or if you have, the so-called ghost gun, where something is manufactured. But, even with the ghost gun, there was a recent case on that out of Ramsey County, and it was correctly decided. But even with the ghost gun, building your own gun and just using it for yourself is not illegal.
Right.
What's illegal is if you build your own gun and then you sell it, or you give it to somebody who's going to use it for an illegal purpose. But building your own gun is not illegal.
It's so hard, Joe, when you have a case where it's somebody who this is not a case where we had somebody who was in the criminal justice system who got released too early. And you
That's
can say,
right.
like, well, we got to be tougher on people with gun violations. Here is a case of someone who was filled with so much hate and rage and despair that they decided to act.
Right. And
it's hard to think in a free society, what do we do to stop something like this? Although it doesn't happen all around the world, it mostly seems to happen here.
I know. And what you just hit upon is correct, which is the issue in a free society. Of course, if you wanted to lock everything down, you could, but that's not a free society. We do try to control some of these through certain legislation, like we have the Extreme Risks Protection Act, the red flag law. So, there's going to be an extensive investigation on this guy. And if it does show that at some point in time he was suffering from such a mental disability that maybe somebody should have got a red flag law activated on him, sure. But, you can only...
something like gender confusion or
no, that's not
changing.
No, of course not. That's not going to do it. It would be something...
And he was 17 when Robert became Robin legally.
Right.
We don't know what other type of intervention, if any, was involved.
Right. And just that,
but that's nothing.
That's
right?
nothing. People that decide that I want to be somebody else or my identification is somebody else is not a mental illness.
Right.
What's a mental illness is obviously whoever's out there, all of a sudden, like we had in the Crumbly case back in Michigan that I mentioned before, there were clear writings that this young man was deranged. And that something very bad was going to happen.
So if someone saw this video last night, do you have an affirmative responsibility to call it in?
No, you don't.
So that's where really finding somebody else responsible.
That's right. We have Good Samaritan laws, but they don't reach to this extent.
Right.
But I think to go back to, the onus should be on these social media companies. And Congress has the ability to change it. They could decide that, if you're going to be a purveyor out there of information, it's not going to be a bulletin board where everybody can put whatever they want. As soon as the internet companies decide they have editorial power, what they could pick and choose, which they do, then they should have part of the responsibility.
Joe, we appreciate the insight as always. I wish we were talking about something more fun at the state fair than this, but
I know
here we are. Joe Tamburino with us at the fair. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for having me on.
We'll break. We will be back in just a minute. Twins baseball is on the air at 5:30. A nice round of applause. You're allowed to applaud. There's joy still. That's why we came out here today. We got to have a little balance. We got to have a little fun as well. We mourn, but we also move forward and celebrate what does make our state great. We're at the fair. It's one of those things for sure on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, be sure to meet at Andy's.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
All right, Jason, back with you at the State Fair with a fall alert. Yes, the temperatures are changing, but that does not mean that you don't have to take action when it comes to your landscaping. This time of year is actually the best time of year to plant new trees, new shrubs, new perennials, and ProTurf is ready to help you transform your backyard. Now, I know a lot of us like to plant stuff in the spring because then you get that sort of immediate, oh, look what I did to my yard. But I'm telling you, the difference if you take action in the fall, let those roots take hold in a cooler, more calm soil condition. Then when spring comes around, your yard is going to look amazing. ProTurf is the best. They have certified landscape designers. As part of your landscaping project, you will get a free digital image of your design so you can see what it looks like before they take action. ProTurf also right now, if you do a $4,000 project, they're throwing in a free 6-foot Colorado spruce or a free 2-inch sugar maple tree. That's a $650 value. Limited time offer, though, so you got to go. ProfessionalTurf.com is the website. You can fill out a free estimate request, or you can call 952-469-8680. It's a Minnesota family-owned company since 1982. They take care of my yard. They will take care of you. It's ProTurf.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop in store online. Eastbound 94 near Riverside. Crash off to the right side. Get ready for your slowdown through the area. If you're going to be traveling along 94 eastbound near Cretan, looks like we have a crash working off to the right shoulder there. South 35W, south in the area of 42nd. Got a crash working off to the right side. Save on coffee cravings at Whole Foods Market. Get 33% off select ready-to-drink multi-serve coffees with Prime through September 2nd. Make mornings easier with a quick boost. While supplies last, shop in store online. Terms apply. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast brought to you by Gutman Law. Tonight, isolated showers early, low of 62. Tomorrow, 75. Friday, same deal. Weekend looks dry, too. Right now, it is 79 on CCO.
The food's fried, the crowds are packed. It's a good thing we brought the water. It's free and it's cold. Yeah, you're welcome. Come, get yours at the CCO Radio Building at the fair, provided with assistance from Livia Weight Control Centers.
All right, 456.
It might be 79 here on the stage, Jason, but I'm guessing out in the sun where these poor folks are standing on the benches, it's about, well, let's see, what's the surface of the sun? And then back it off just like a
Is it too hot for you guys over there? No.
Not too bad? Okay.
See, all the moaning on this radio station about the sun over here.
Well, speaking of moaning.
Yes.
I've now done something that I never thought I would do.
Okay.
I've officially cleaned up after a llama.
That's true. That is true.
Our friends, which we love having them out here.
We
It's
love
great.
the llamas.
Love it. Very cuddly. They left us a present and a sizable one. But I took care of it because that's just the kind of person I am.
What was interesting about the llama poop is that it was a combination of like rabbit pellet and then like horse.
Yes.
Which I mean, as a human, I have a number 1 and a number 2. I
Sure.
did not know llamas had a number 3. It was
1,000.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was something else.
Proud of you.
It was something else. And God bless the U of M extension people. Mere minutes after I had cleaned it up, they came back with a proof.
Yeah.
Something to sweep it up with.
Hey, Lindsay, do you have the temp of the team for the Twins? Can you hit that thing? Do you have that ready? Oh, it's okay if
Let
you
me
don't.
dig. Hold
Let's see if
on.
you
I
have
gotta go
it.
into
Hit
Cooks folder, and then there's 10,000
Actually,
of those.
now we
Lindsay,
don't have
Lindsay,
time.
top row of the hotkeys, light blue. Hit that one.
Oh, now I gotta get to your folder. 1 second. There's a
Uh-huh.
lot of things.
Oh, wait a minute. Or
going
is it
on
not there?
here.
No,
Oh,
it's
wait, you're
not
at the
there. Never
bottom.
mind. Disregard that entirely. It's
You know
not
what?
there.
This went great. That's the temp of the
Sorry.
temp of the team. I can't even say it.
They're about that organized on the Twins
It's
side.
brought
right
to you
now.
by the Chef IQ Center.
Yes.
And now we're done. This was one of our better segments.
Probably.
CBS News is next.
How long do you think it would take for your home to sell? Have you ever tried to figure that out? It's Benita here. There are some people who sell theirs within days. That's awesome. But it's all too common for it to take months and months and months. For the people that seem to have a for sale sign in their yard forever, chances are they hired the wrong real estate agent. You need to work with my buddy, the good neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Matt and Sarah hired John. And this time, after struggling with another real estate agent, they didn't have time to sit around and wait. John's marketing system reaches thousands of potential buyers. They got the cash offer they wanted. You can too. Contact John for full details. 952-222-9000. Online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Most people have no idea there's an invisible gap in their home's protection. This invisible threat is house stealing. Con artists pick a house. They transfer the deed of this house into their name by obtaining the forms, using the fake IDs, and filing the paperwork with proper authorities. Now they own the home. Protect your home from this invisible gap. Check on your home's title right now at HomeTitleLock.com. Be sure to use promo code RADIO and they will send you a complete title scan of your home's title. And your first 30 days of triple lock title protection is free. HomeTitleLock.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
First the headlines, then the discussion on what it all means. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming now on the free Odyssey
CBS
app.
News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. 2 children were killed today and 17 people injured in a shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
We often come to these and say these unspeakable tragedies, or there's no words for this. There shouldn't be words for these types of incidents because they should not happen.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the 23-year-old suspect, who is believed to have acted alone, left behind a manifesto timed to be released on YouTube.
This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
O'Hara said the suspect used 3 guns, but others have been found. There were writings on some of the weapons. CBS's Anna Schechter.
This is someone who had grievances against a number of different groups, and that's why it's challenging to sort out a motive. In fact, there are other social media videos online, other social media posts by this individual.
The suspect killed himself after the shootings. The Transportation Department today took over Union Station in Washington, D.C. Some National Guard troops have been patrolling there as part of the president's anti-crime efforts. Allison Keyes reports the mayor is admitting those efforts are working.
Mayor Muriel Bowser says the federal surge has been important to the district, and compared to the last 20 days in the same time period last year, there's been
a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
But she also spoke strongly about the anxiety many district residents feel amid the surge and the sorrow she feels that many migrants are living in terror. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The FDA has approved updated COVID vaccines, but they won't be as broadly available, as Linda Kenyon reports.
The vaccines have been approved for all seniors. Younger adults and children with at least one underlying health problem will have to get approval from their doctors if they want the vaccine. On social media, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said emergency use authorizations for COVID vaccines were used during the Biden administration to, quote, justify broad mandates on the general public. And he added, they are now rescinded.
Mexico says its postal service is suspending package shipments to the U.S. ahead of the Trump administration's end to an exemption to tariffs on low-value packages this week. The exemption had allowed packages worth less than $800 to enter this country duty-free. Postal services in other countries have also paused shipping. On Wall Street, stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Partly cloudy, 75 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. A parent's worst nightmare and one a kid should never have to experience.
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay.
It is the biggest story in the nation today. An 8 and 10-year-old are killed, 17 others are injured as gunfire rips through the sun-dappled stained glass windows at Annunciation Church in South Minneapolis. This as elementary and middle school kids were attending Mass to celebrate the first week of school. All of the injured are expected to survive. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground.
The shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. The motive is not known, but Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says they left a video manifesto on social media.
This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
This afternoon, investigators are converging on 4 different homes in Minneapolis that may be connected to Westman, including a house at 57th and 1st Avenue South.
Armed personnel have been seen going into the house and scouring the lawn. There was a van and 2 police squads outside of the house. One neighbor said she knew Robin's stepmom and that her son knew Robin and said, quote, he was a really nice guy. So she's completely shocked at this situation.
Yes, this has been a horrible day all around for everyone, for the stepmom, the dad, all the siblings, everyone at the school. I'm feeling it.
In Southeast Minneapolis, Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And a few blocks away, back near Annunciation School and Church, a community mourns.
It hurts to know that those will be somebody's babies in there. Somebody's mother, grandmother. It's sad.
I'm so angry right now. That's it.
Do you feel like change is possible?
I have no idea, but it has to be.
You just don't think this is going to happen in your community.
A community vigil is planned for tonight at Lyndhurst Park. That address is 1345 West Minnehaha Parkway in South Minneapolis. It starts at 8 o'clock. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
State Fair traffic report brought to you by Postman Law. Going to find an accident working East 94 near Cretin and some activity off to the right side of East 94 in the area of Riverside. So get ready for your slowdowns past Cedar as you head over to Snelling Avenue. As you travel Snelling Avenue, that's going to be congested out in front of the fairgrounds. Como Avenue is congested right now as you make way between Bremen Avenue and Snelling Avenue. If you're over on 35E southbound, look like possible crash working now for Wheelock Parkway. It's already slow as you come down from Roselawn. Injured, call 844-POSTMAN. If you've been hurt in an accident, don't wait. Call 844-POSTMAN today. With over $3 billion recovered for their clients, they're here for you 24/7. Others promise, Postman delivers. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRUSHA here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by the Canopy Group. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Can't rule out a few isolated showers. Will be dry overnight as we cool back to 62. Partly cloudy and 75 tomorrow. A few more clouds with a similar high on Friday. We should be mainly dry through Labor Day weekend with highs running just slightly below average in the 70s.
Right now it's partly cloudy, 75 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Real-time coverage of what matters most to you. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSHA.
All right, we are live at the Minnesota State Fair. 30 minutes left to go before we go to Twins pregame. We're going to update you on all aspects of the national lead story today, which sadly takes place in Minneapolis. A shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church. 2 kids are dead, an 8 and 10-year-old, as they were sitting there at an all-school mass praying in the pews, and some absolute monster starts shooting from outside the building, shooting inside the windows, barricading the kids inside. New reporting for the Star Tribune from an interview from a parent who was who had talked to people who were in there, that there was a police officer. Police responded really fast from the first reports of this shooting. And a police officer who, the way it was described in the paper, is that it was a regular beat cop. It was no special uniform or anything, no special helmet or anything like that. And that cop ran towards the shooter. It's the bravery that we know is out there, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted. That is likely action that led to a quicker end to all of this, with the shooter taking their own life. Vigils tonight. There's a vigil at 7. There's another vigil at 8 in the neighborhood. That will be the big story throughout the evening. The 7 p.m. vigil is at City Church, which is on 54th Street, right in the same neighborhood. Marie Gorham sending me that information. But City Church, Minneapolis, having a prayer and chance for the neighborhood to come together after this tragedy. Let's do the DeRUSH Hour, a special edition of Page One, the lead.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
The main headline today, community changed forever. A 23-year-old shooter, police identify as Robin Westman, died of a self-inflicted gunshot. Absolute heinous, cowardly act. Not only Robin Westman killing themselves, but shooting a total of 19 people, 2 children dead. The shooter dead. Police executing 4 different search warrants at residences all throughout the area. The shooter had 3 weapons, an AR-15 likely, a shotgun, and a handgun. Police say they were legally purchased and they were purchased recently. I was moved by the words of the principal of Annunciation School, a K-8 Catholic school that had their first day of class on Monday. First all-school mass. They have a all-school mass every Wednesday at 8:15 in the morning, which the shooter certainly knew about because a CNN reporting that he graduated from that K-8 school that his mom worked at as a secretary. Here is the principal, Matthew Dubois, who said, "We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future."
Good afternoon, everyone. To any of our students, families, and staff watching right now, I love you. You're so brave, and I'm so sorry this happened to us today. Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes. Children were ducked down. Adults were protecting children. Older children were protecting younger children. And as we heard earlier, it could have been significantly worse without their heroic action. This is a nightmare, but we call our staff the dream team. And we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this. When we planned for this school year, we intentionally chose the theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29, a future filled with hope. There's nothing about today that can fill us with hope. We, as a community, have a responsibility to make sure that no child, no parent, no teacher ever intentionally chose a theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29 ever again. I need everybody to commit those words to your speech patterns. Never again. We lost 2 angels today. Please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray, move your feet. So I beg you, I ask you to please pray, but don't stop with your words. Let's make a difference and support this community, these children, these families, these teachers. Never again can we let this happen. I love you, Annunciation family. We're with you, and we will be stronger when this is done.
That is the principal. Just within the last couple hours of Annunciation School, you imagine those parents. And also a reminder that when this happened, the school staff is in there too, right? It's an all-school mass. You got the principal in there. You got the teachers in there. You've got the counselors in there. Everybody is in there. The excitement, the anticipation of a new school year. First day was Monday. Here we go. And to have a smoke bomb set as a bit of a distraction and then gunfire coming through those stained glass windows of a church. It's just outrageous. It is just outrageous. To underscore that point, I wanted to play this interview that a kid named Weston gave. Weston is a 5th grader who was in the church when gunfire started. When you listen to Weston, before you jump to your preconceived political talking points about what you think needs to be done about guns or what you think needs to be discussed about transgender policies or mental health, take a moment and listen to this kid, because today, at this moment, these are the people we should be thinking about.
It was like shots fired, and then we kind of got under the pews. It kind of they shot through the stained glass windows, I think, and it was really scary.
What did you do after that?
Well, we waited 10 to 5 minutes. I don't really know, and then we went to the gym, and then the doors locked just to make sure he didn't come, and we waited in the gym for more news, and everyone was okay. Or most people were.
Who are
okay.
your friend, Wes?
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay.
Whew. I mean, there are two things today that straight up shook me. And one is listening to that kid. And the second was watching those images of parents walking out of the school. And you just think about that. Like my kids, I just dropped them off at college. And you think about that moment, right? In those early days. And you'd see like a mom and a dad and the kid in the middle and holding both hands. It just makes you want to never let go.
Your heart breaks
Makes you never
for the
let go.
victims, the 2 kids that are dead and the 17 people in the hospital. But it goes beyond that, right? It's kids like Weston that have to process this now, that were part of that experience. And he may not have been hit by a bullet, but he's going to experience trauma all the same coming out of this event. It's horrible. It's so awful.
The mayor of Minneapolis, in the first news conference today, brought up a topic that is often brought up in these types of scenarios. There's become sort of a shorthand. This shorthand of thoughts and prayers are not enough. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. In our last hour, if you rewind on the YouTube stream at WCCO Radio, or you go to the podcast, you'll hear Dan and I both stand up for the fact that thoughts and prayers are meaningful. And for most of us, sending our thoughts and our prayers, it is all you can do, and it is not nothing. That said, the mayor was telling people, he wasn't telling people not to pray today. He was telling people that that should be a beginning, not the ending. Here's what he had to say with Chad Hartman.
There are no words that can capture the horror of this completely unspeakable and evil act. And thoughts and prayers are not good enough. These kids were literally praying. They were in a church. It was the first week of school. These kids should be laughing on a playground and learning with their friends. They should be messing around in the cafeteria. That's what you do when you're a kid. And no kid, no family should have to fear for their lives or their safety when they go into school. And so, no, thoughts and prayers, of course, they're not good enough.
So that's the mayor of Minneapolis. That's become a political hot button as well. And to give you the brief version of Dan and my conversation about that, I disagree with this sort of demeaning of thoughts and prayers. I understand the idea that, like, it's not enough. It doesn't change anything. I get that. But I also think, you know what? Like, this shooting happened 9 hours ago. You could send a freaking thought and prayer without having some politician tell you that you're not doing enough. You are doing enough. You are doing what a human does, which is send love and compassion and wrap your arms around our neighbors, because this kind of crap is happening too much. And we also need to figure out what the more is that we need to do. And we've been trying to figure it out for too long. And I think there are too many entrenched interests that don't actually want to figure it out. They like having this to argue about. They don't want to change anything. We do need to do something different. We need to experiment. We need to try some things. But you know what? If you're sitting at home listening to my voice right now and you're compelled to send some thoughts and prayers to Annunciation Catholic School of Richfield and South Minneapolis and all of us in this state, please do.
Amen.
Please
Absolutely. Go back to what the principal said, which is a more artful form of what I think the mayor was trying to get at. The African proverb he quoted, when you pray, move your feet. Part of prayer is doing something.
It's not just words.
It's not just words. It's not
action.
just thoughts.
Yeah.
But thoughts and prayers are a good
That's
start.
right. It's a good start.
Then start moving your feet.
We'll hold you accountable if all you do is pray today. There's more that needs to be done, but I just sort of, I kind of had it with the demeaning of a genuine thought and prayer. It's 5:20. Let's break. We'll come back. Twins baseball on the air with pregame. Let's hope we get another exciting finish like we had. How about that 9th inning?
Loved it.
Who is still listening?
I was.
I was. Okay.
I was.
All right. We haven't given up.
I'm a Matt Wallner guy.
It's a reward for people who stuck through 9 innings of Twins Toronto. We'll get you to pregame in just a minute here on Drive Time.
The You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSHA, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, meet at Andy's.
You know that feeling when you're about to cut into a juicy steak and hope it tastes as perfect as it looks? Well, worry no more. The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat, whether on the stove, tub, oven, or grill. The probe is inserted into your food and connected wirelessly to an app. Once you select your desired doneness, the app alerts you when to take the steaks off the grill or the turkey out of the oven. It's that simple. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
All right. Hey, if you have ever tried to get an appointment with a dermatologist, you know how long it takes. It's Jason here for Tureen Dermatology. I had a friend come up to me the other day and say they tried to make an appointment at their normal dermatologist, and they were told that they could get in a year. I'm not kidding you. 1 year. That is crazy. The truth is we don't have enough dermatologists for the demand because so many people are saying, you know what, I don't want to deal with this eczema, or I don't want to have this acne flare up. I bring my kids, I bring my wife, I bring myself to Tureen Dermatology because Dr. Mohiba Tureen, she is a rock star. She is a force of nature. I love her. She will take care of you. Believe me. Tureen Dermatology has 9 different locations. And what that means is, remember I said some people are waiting a year to get into a dermatologist? You can get into Tureen in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. They guarantee it to CCO radio listeners. TureenDermatology.com. If you go to the homepage, I'm looking at it right now. You click on request an appointment, and it'll get you to one of their 7 locations. Roseville is where I go. I would like a Maple Grove Tureen, by the way. That would be helpful. Faribault, Maplewood, Monticello. How about Hudson, Eagan, Lakeville, Lindstrom, Farmington? They got you covered at TureenDermatology.com.
Storm season is here. That means nature's fury will cause damage to your roof. When it does, that's when you call Brian Job of Job Brothers Construction. Because they're local, they offer same-day Twin City-wide emergency service. Job Brothers Construction will repair or replace your roof from nature's wrath. They'll also work with your insurance company to ensure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Brian and his team truly take the hassle out of a terrible situation. Working with Brian and his crew will give you peace of mind because it was done right. Just contact Job Brothers Construction for a no-obligation, free, and full inspection. Contact them online at jobbrothersconstruction.com. That's J-O-B-E, Job Brothers Construction, handling all your roofing, siding, window, and gutter needs. They'll even repair your roof from fallen trees. Job Brothers Construction. They get the job done right.
I'm Jenna Fisher. And I'm Angela Kinsey. And together we have the podcast Office Ladies. Just because we finished rewatching The Office does not mean we're going anywhere. Every Wednesday, we'll be sharing even more exclusive stories from The Office and our friendship with brand new guests. Plus, you can revisit all the Office Ladies rewatch episodes every Monday with new bonus tidbits before every episode.
So follow and listen to Office Ladies on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Most people have no idea there's an invisible gap in their home's protection. This invisible threat is house stealing. Con artists pick a house. They transfer the deed of this house into their name by obtaining the forms, using the fake IDs, and filing the paperwork with proper authorities. Now they own the home. Protect your home from this invisible gap. Check on your home's title right now at HomeTitleLock.com. Be sure to use promo code RADIO, and they will send you a complete title scan of your home's title. And your first 30 days of triple lock title protection is free. HomeTitleLock.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Courtesy of Lindus Construction, your trusted Minnesota and Wisconsin contractors for over 45 years, and the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. We're live at the Minnesota State Fair on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hour news headlines continuing here as we get you up to Twins baseball. There is other news in the Twin Cities today, and the Minnesota Timberwolves and Minnesota Lynx have a new CEO.
Let him hear you howl.
I mean, I don't know that the fans are going to be that excited about new executive Matthew Caldwell, but interesting stuff from Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez. They hired the former president and CEO of the Florida Panthers, who and they must have really given this guy some money because he's got a 10-year contract. So the Panthers won Stanley Cups in 2024 and 2025. They were named Sports Business Journal's 2025 Team of the Year. So this is the biggest hire for the Wolves and the Lynx. We've sort of been wondering, like, all right, who's going to run this team? And now they've got a person. He steps in this role at a big point, of course, as the Timberwolves will start a push for a new arena in Minneapolis. Where will that go? We don't know. I hope it stays in downtown Minneapolis. NBA arenas should be in downtown. I know they're going to be tempted to be like, oh, let's build an arena in Blaine or in Bloomington or whatever. But I believe NBA is where the culture is, and it should be downtown. That's what I'm sure the new guy was really curious what DeRUSHA thought. So now he knows. When he was hired 9 years ago, he was the youngest CEO in pro sports, just 36. So pretty cool stuff. A major food company is building a new plant to try to innovate more quickly. This is General Mills. They're building a $54 million pilot plant in Golden Valley. So the idea is like General Mills has been slow in innovating and getting new products to market. So they're going to build this new plant at the James Bell Technical Center. And so that's right in Golden Valley. So it's pretty cool. It'll be 30,000 square feet, 2 stories. And it's just the north of the main headquarters. I actually gave a talk out there once about the restaurant scene in the Twin Cities. They have about 1,000 employees over there in that Golden Valley spot. I love this story in the Pioneer Press, a time capsule from 1975 that was finally discovered at a St. Paul high school.
You've got mail.
Yeah, they found the beautiful time capsule. It was the class of 1975. They thought they had lost this time capsule forever. They went digging for it in 2000, and they couldn't find it. They were out there for a couple of days, and they're like, where is this thing? They're digging, and they couldn't find it. And then just a couple years ago, the school was doing some work, and they dug it up. They're like, what is this? Clink. They found... all of this was in a baby casket is where they stored this stuff. But they found a copy of the St. Paul Pioneer Press with a headline about Governor Wendell Anderson nixing a session, and a Time magazine with a photo of then President Gerald Ford. They also found letters to themselves. Every student sent a letter to themselves. So those are all being sent out now. Pretty cool. That is Drive Time with DeRUSHA. Thanks for listening. Twins baseball is next.
The following is a presentation of Odyssey Sports, presented by Indeed.